All right, let's listen up. Let's get started. All right, everybody. So today's essential question is, what were the social, political, cultural, and economic consequences of U.S. imperialism during the late 19th and 20th centuries? What you should be doing now is simply doing your Cornell notes, right? Okay. So again, I'm recording this for your benefit. Let's get started. All right, so this cover standard is 14, 14A, which is mainly Chinese Exclusion Act. We should be good there, though, right? Can we cover that? B's will be Spanish American War. Wait till we get to that, y'all. And then also U.S. involvement in Latin America, Roosevelt Corollary. Remember that word, the Monroe Doctrine? Remember I told y'all don't forget about it? It's coming back up. And we're about to add to it. Bless you. Okay? And the Panama Canal. Has anybody ever been to the Panama Canal? No? Okay. All right, Chinese Exclusion Acts. This is the detail of it right here, but the main thing it did was it kept Chinese immigration from coming into the United States for almost 100 years, right? It didn't really get overturned and revoked, if you will, until like the 1950s, during the start of the Civil Rights Movement. At the modern Civil Rights Movement, and then right at the end of World War II. But we should be good here, yes? Okay. So close to 100, but I'm gonna show y'all this video just for this case of argument. Yes. Is there a specific amount of work you want per area, or does it matter? Yeah, for your Cornell notes. The more details you have for yourself, the better you're gonna be for yourself. Did I got me on that? You just want to pass the quiz when I give it to you. Yeah. So you can put, and then like I said, Cornell, you can put pictures on your notes, okay? I'm cool with that. So it's just up to you. Play this video for you. Listen up. No, this is still the Chinese Exclusion Act.
Chinese immigrants began flooding into the United States in the 1850s, attracted by opportunities in the American West. They were escaping poverty and unrest in China and filling jobs in the new American mining and railroad industry.
Add to your notes.
And they were considered to be very pliable labor, very inexpensive labor, labor that would work no matter what the circumstances were, no matter how dangerous it was.
Within 30 years, about 200,000 Chinese had settled in the U.S. But by the 1870s, a backlash against them had grown large and violent.
They faced a lot of discrimination, a lot of racial intolerance because they were seen as working for lower wages, taking jobs at a time when unemployment was 25–30% in some communities. The Chinese become the scapegoat for American workers on the West Coast especially, for all the economic troubles.
The railroad companies turned against Chinese workers after they began to organize for better pay and a shorter workday. In 1867, when 5,000 Chinese Central Pacific Railroad workers went on strike, the companies simply cut off their food supplies until the starving workers agreed to return to work 1 week later.
And so there's the Throw the Chinese Out movement. Labor unions line up with it. The American Workingmen's Party is founded principally on this issue, and they pressure Congress, and Congress eventually agrees to pass its first immigration restriction law in 1882, explicitly targeting Chinese immigrants as undesirables.
The Chinese Exclusion Act banned Chinese laborers from immigrating to the United States for 10 years. It also prevented the Chinese already in the U.S. from becoming citizens. Congress renewed the law in 1892 and made it permanent in 1902. It was not until 1943 that the act was repealed, allowing Chinese immigration and granting citizenship to Chinese nationals already residing in the country. But by then, many once thriving Chinese communities in the U.S. had nearly disappeared.
All right, so we good there again? Yeah. Okay, great. All right, so here's a picture you're gonna fish. All right. Oh, I didn't mean that to happen. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. Who can tell me what FISH stands for as I go back? Okay, a little bit slower. F stands for what? Facts. I stands for what? Infer. S stands for what? And H stands for what? And when I say help, what I want you to do? Give it a title. Yes, I know it should be a different acronym, but we're working with fish, okay? So based on this picture right here, and I'm gonna blow it up for you a little bit bigger. Excuse me, everybody. I'm kicking with my big feet. Fish this picture. Let's go ahead and fish. If you need to get closer, get closer. But go ahead and fish this picture. Facts, inferences, support, and help. Remember this anytime you see a picture on the test, okay, people? What are y'all bickering about now? So focus on your work, and then you don't have to worry about bickering. Huh? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Facts. And what's a fact, people? No, I'm saying, like, what's the definition of a fact? Something that's true that cannot be argued, right? What is an inference? It's an educated guess, but it's based off those facts, right? Does everybody hear me on that? You can say it's a hypothesis, but it's based off those that fact. So then after that, what would be support? Support reaches anything that supports that inference in fact. Does everybody follow me there? And it helps you give you your own title, okay? All right, let me get a popsicle stick. Gracie, what is a fact you have?
I said that there's a very tall and large man.
Is a very tall and large man getting measured. Now, who do you think that very tall and large man signify, though? Uncle Sam. And who is Uncle Sam? The United States. Does everybody see that now? So that very tall and fat man getting measured is Uncle Sam, who's the United States. Now, you got to really look at the details of this in a second, but what is he getting clothes with? So I'm kind of looking at inferences now. Go ahead. I got your hand. Go ahead. The fabrics, yes. These fabrics show different things. Like the star says rational expansion. Excuse me. The yellow is foreign policy. The red and white is enlightenment. And if you look here, there's little words here too as well. Did I got me on that? You see California, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and now he's getting fat because he's getting fed. Expansion policy. Y'all follow me on this? This is the kind of detail you want to have on pictures. Did I got me there? Now, I'll tell you inferences of support, right? I just kind of layered it out when I went from right to left. Yeah, what you got? Yeah, fabric. If anybody knows, anybody ever sew or do anything like that? Okay, is fabric cheap for you two people? All right, for everybody who don't know, fabric is a very lucrative. You never go out of business because guess what everybody needs? Clothes, and it's very expensive. And that's a great point is that fabric is expensive, so you know he has to be making a lot of wealth. So I got me there? Everybody follow me there? I am trying to make sure y'all know that if you can analyze pictures like this, you don't ever have to do any of the reading that comes along with the picture. And what I was call this, America getting fat off everybody else. That's my title. Okay? And again, the reason I'm saying is you got to look at what's on his pants right here. And then what you have here for the title, it says, decline with thanks. I don't know what that means, but I gave it my title. We good? Huh? Over here, he's being fed anti-expansion policy. He's being fed. That's what he's being fed, anti-expansion policy. But does it look like he want to take it? No. So that's what it means. Decline with thanks. Like, thanks, but no, I ain't taking that medicine. I like being expanded. And Uncle Sam is physically being expanded. That's the nutshell we're about to talk about. Does y'all got me on that? How America became the America y'all love and live in right now is through this expansion. Okay. All right, so what is imperialism? I get a popsicle stick. Haley, can you read to us what imperialism is? Okay, that's good. Now, you should have learned this in world history, but I don't assume anything. The textbook definition says the economic and political domination of a strong nation over a weaker nation. In your notes, do you have to put all that down? What could you put down to abbreviate it? What could be an abbreviation of the definition for your notes, for your understanding, for you to understand it? Domination of over a weaker nation. That's it. That's all it means. Imperialism is literally when you're dominated over a weaker nation. If I deem you weaker, I dominate over you. Just take what I want. Is that right clear there? Is that right follow? Okay. Not as much. The question is that still going on now? I'll argue not as much, but you have nations still got they fingernail tips in different places all over the world. Okay. We good so far? Is everybody aware what's going on over in the Gaza right now? I've heard about it at least. Okay, excuse me. I am not going into detail about it right now, but just know that is a big international issue right now. And how the United States plays in it, the whole world's going to look at it and see it that way. Does everybody follow me there? And I'm saying that because guess what? For I got a better phrase. Y'all go somewhere, you see as American. And you're going to be treated as such. So you got to be aware of what's going on in the world because they'll be isolated within these walls between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. You go anywhere, they see you as American, not from, oh, you from Bankhead, oh, you from this. They see you as American only. Did I got me on that? And has anyone ever traveled outside the United States? Am I lying?
Nope. I went before I started kindergarten.
Okay. All right, so key terms to remember, you have imperialism, you have isolationism, okay? 2 words you got to make sure you understand, you clearly understand, you understand very, 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 very well. Can I get someone to read imperialism? Evelyn, go ahead and read imperialism.
The policy, practice, or advocacy of extending the power and dominion of a nation, especially by direct territorial acquisitions or by gaining indirect control of the political or economic life of other areas.
Nobody should have this whole thing written down in their notes. Does everybody got me on that? Paraphrase it and put in your own words. Do not write that whole thing down. Does everybody got me on that? Like, just don't. Because I wouldn't even do that. I'm giving y'all textbook definitions, okay? All right, huh?
Would an example of that be like how Canada uses the U.S. Army?
When you say how Canada uses it, no, because Canada definitely ain't trying to imperialize the United States. No. That would be more so we just trying to help you out. Isolationism. You got to know this because, again, we setting up World War I, right, y'all? When y'all come back to me next week, guess what we talking about? World War I. We about to talk about how we killing everybody. Cool? So it's about to get to that. Y'all just be ready, okay? It's about to be gory. It's about to be death. Might even watch Wonder Woman. Who knows? Can I get another pop specific for isolationism? No wall. Go ahead and read isolationism. So isolation basically, guess what? We don't deal with nothing that's not American. So I got me on that? You have to keep that in mind. That's going to be a running theme until the end of the Cold War. I was about to say World War II, and I thought about the Cold War. So in other words, we'll be here for like almost the next 80 to 90 years. They don't want to deal with nothing going on around the world. And at the same time, we don't want you coming into our country with none of your problems. Did I got me on that? Isolate. That we all understand what isolate means, right? That's the key idea. All right, go ahead and rotate. After you're about to go to the next slide, go ahead and rotate. And I would definitely say if you know you're having a hard time seeing, get closer. Yeah, I'm about to move this stuff. But I need it. All right, everybody, take a second look at this picture. I'm not asking you to fish it necessarily. I want you to take a second look at it. Who's the person to the left? Huh? Uncle Sam and AKA the United States. Who's the person to the right? Great Britain. As you probably recall from your world history class, the sun never set on the what empire? British Empire. Did I got me on that? And guess who's the closest cousin or brother to the Great Britain? United States. Remember American Revolution and all that? Remember that, y'all? Okay. All right, some more definitions. All right, so first we got economic, military, and cultural. These are all motives for imperialism. As far as economic, we need to trade with other countries so we can make money. There was 3 reasons for imperialism. The first one was economic. Y'all should be writing this down. The first one is that we need to trade with other countries because we need that money. The next one is going to be military. We need to be able to have military bases strategically in certain places, i.e. Hawaii, i.e. Guantanamo Bay, Puerto Rico. Y'all follow me on that? Because again, think about this in this sense. Hawaii gives us the Pacific Ocean, right? Guantanamo Bay gives us the whole Caribbean and gives us a way down to Latin America. Make sense? So money, military bases. The last one is going to be cultural. We believe that it is our job to spread democracy, i.e. manifest destiny. Is everybody with me? Questions there? Y'all good? Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, so why expand? Let me get somebody get popsicle sticks here. Who?
Small country has no centralized government, and the country is constantly in turmoil. The U.S. decides to take the country over.
And then give me a popsicle stick for each bullet point, because y'all should be reading this on your own too.
A small country has no centralized government, and the country is constantly in turmoil.
Turmoil, yeah, turmoil, yeah. What does that mean? It's constantly fighting, right? It's always got issues. Keep going.
There is also equal industry in the country. The U.S. decides to take the country over.
The last bullet point. Now, these are all reasons why, like almost a checklist. Is it right clear there? We good? Okay. All right, so imperialism led to increased competitions between all different world powers. Each country wanted to show they were stronger and more powerful. Land equals what? Have I not been saying that this whole class? You own land, you get power. Did I got me on that? We there, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And now this has eventually led to a change in the United States, that dynamics between the United States and also the rest of the world too. Okay. All right. So what is U.S. imperialism? Okay. I'm going to give y'all a second. I'm going to bring this up a little bit bigger. So give y'all a second to just kind of say, what is U.S. imperialism? Yeah. I got some 11th graders.
Wait for what?
For picture retakes. If you need to retake pictures, go. Now, whether they already have appointments, they got that little yellow sheet where they said they need to come. Okay. Bye. All right, so U.S. imperialism. Let me see your notes. Okay. All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, so to answer that question, how did imperialism impact the world? So again, imperialism led to increased competition. So I see some of y'all missed this. Increased competition. Land equals power. Each country wanted to show that they were stronger and more powerful. And again, this is how the United States really built this empire. Do I got me on that? Do I follow? You have a lot of U.S. territories because of this. And also, this really led to how the United States and the rest of the world interacted with each other. And again, I'm talking about Gaza. That's right now going on in the world. How the U.S. deals with Gaza is going to be very, very telling. I'm not saying they have it. I'm just saying what they do is going to be very, very telling. Okay? Are we good there now? Is everybody good? You good there? Say yes? Okay. Now, again, I'm recording this, so if you missed something, you all go back to this recording, and I'll put this in CTLS once I edit, okay? All right. Keep going. All right, so what is imperialism? So good. Just want you to kind of see this. Basically, expanding a nation's power by gaining political and economic control over another country. That's all it is. Everybody got me on that? You could definitely go look at this and see more details, but it's all it is. You're more powerful? I'm taking. Bye. Got it? Yes? Okay. All right, so now let's talk about early imperialism. We're going to look at Alaska, Hawaii, Japan, China, Spain, the Philippines, Cuba, and also the Panama Canal. So basically, it's going to be all the standard 14. We good so far? Okay. I'm going to go a little faster clip. Just bear with me. All right, so we go becoming a world power. This is when the United States started to become a world power. Is it right clear there? Because before now, we was literally from the Atlantic to the Pacific. That was it. Not no more, though. Because now, we're about to get Alaska, y'all. Okay? We're about to get Alaska. United States purchased Alaska from Russia in 1867. Now, if you know your world history, there's a lot of background with Alaska and Russia, right? Land bridge, Bering Strait. I'm not saying that you don't know before, right? We good? Okay. If you don't know that, that's scary for world history, right? Well, basically, Secretary of State William Seward was given an opportunity to purchase Alaska from Russia for 2 cents an acre, y'all. Do you know how cheap that is? 2 cents. Y'all know how much 2 cents is, right? 2 pennies. An acre. Is that a lot of money? No. But guess what we found in Alaska? Oil. There's a lot of things we got in Alaska too, but oil. And it's also strategically placed, because guess what's next to Alaska? Russia. And it's 2023. Have we not been hearing about United States and Russia for a lot over the last 5 years or so? Just throwing that out there. All right. So that's the main thing about Alaska. We good with Alaska? Yep. Huh? 2 cents an acre. That's how much we got Alaska for. It was seen as the Arctic wasteland, and people actually thought this was a bad idea until we found oil. It took some time, but when we found oil, it was like, ooh, good job, Seward. We good so far? All right. That's Alaska. Next up, and yeah, something else we did find a little bit of oil, but y'all see that big old grizzly bear? Why do we care about we found grizzly bears or grizzly bears were there? Fur. Now, he also secured the rights to the Midway Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Take note of that when we get to World War II. The Midway Islands. Anybody ever heard of the Battle of Midway? So what we're saying here is that it was considered to be an Arctic wasteland. We did find a little bit of gold, a lot of good fishing. We got the fur. But Seward also secured American rights to the Midway Islands in the Pacific Ocean. That's important to remember when we get to World War II. There's something called the Battle of the Midway. It's actually a really good movie, too. Like, if you like war, fighting movies, it's a darn good movie. To the Midway Islands. Speaking of islands, The annexation of Hawaii. How many people have ever been to Hawaii? Nobody? Me either. I want to go. I just can't. I don't want to feel like this. It's a long travel from here though. Now I would stop in LA because my parents live there, but still, that's a long travel. That's almost like 9 hours, huh? It's beautiful and expensive. People talk about California. No, y'all, Hawaii is expensive. Like, you think, no, Hawaii is by far the most expensive part of the United States. Because guess where it's at? The middle of what? Nowhere, the Pacific Ocean. So the anything they get, they got to be imported in, right? Now, everybody hear me on this. I'm set up Spanish-American War, okay? Annexation of Hawaii. I'm going to abbreviate all this. Again, you watch the video. You can read this on your own. We need to get sugar. Remember sugar plantations, all that stuff? We're talking about slavery, right? Sugar is still a very high commodity. So, for the most part, all of the Caribbean is set away, right, y'all? Caribbean is taken. We got that, right? Hawaii has something very, very sweet. It's called a pineapple. Y'all follow me on this? So, we got pineapple plantations, and we can extract what from that? And guess what we now have a foothold into? Sugar. Is everybody got me on that? So now, Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands was very, very interesting because, first off, a lot of people that lived in Hawaii, the natives, were coming from Asia. Everybody got me on that? And if you go to Hawaii, they have a very high Asian, influence, okay? The food, everything about it, okay? In 1835, a merchant came from Boston, started a sugar plantation in Hawaii. We so far on that? Has anyone ever seen sugar cane? It's tall, right? And it's stringy, but it is, you wouldn't, and think, has anyone ever ate sugar cane? Do you ever run out of it? Like, you can have that thing for like months and it still be sugar. Does everybody got me on that? And anybody said they like sweets, you would hate any sweets you eat now if you get sugar cane. It'll change your life, okay? But he made a plantation in Hawaii. Not long after, other American settlers arrived saying, yo, we can make some money here. So now we start getting the American influence. Remember Mexican-American War? Remember Texas? We did the same thing, didn't we? Y'all see how the history repeats itself? Literally, the United States started getting into Texas. Texans, then the Americans started saying, you know what? We all here. We might as well make this a state. It's kind of what happened with Hawaii. The Americans pressured the Hawaiians to allow the U.S. to build a naval base in Pearl Harbor in 1887. So remember, reasons for expansion, money, right? We got that with sugar, yes? Military base, we got that, right? We looking pretty good. We might as well take over this island, right? You with me so far? Y'all following me? By the way, y'all see, if you read this, you saw them basically abbreviated, everything's written. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So, the United States purchased Alaska from Russia in 1867. We annexed Hawaii, similar like how we annexed Texas, but we annexed Hawaii in 1898. Y'all with me on this so far? So basically, the American planters in Hawaii convinced Congress to allow sugar to be imported into the United States without extra taxes. They was cool with that, wasn't it? Because remember, if you understand economic lesson, GDP, gross domestic product, that makes the country look good. We good? This flush rate allowed sugar growers in the United States because it basically gave them competition. So when Congress approved the bonus of domestic sugar, Hawaii planters wanted the bonus too. So they began a petition that we need to annex Hawaii so we can become the same thing that the states get. Everybody got me on that? Remember, Hawaii was already indigenous to certain people, wasn't it? Keep in mind, this is still Jim Crow America. We can't let that come out the back of our mind, okay? A lot of our decisions are still made that way. So people might not want you to say them. I'm going to be honest. It's still Jim Crow. Racism, prejudice is very much there. Do you think these Hawaiian people look like Americans typically? And they was treated as such. So American planners organized a revolt to remove Hawaii's native monarch, who was King, I cannot say her name, but this is who they ousted with the help from U.S. Marines. Do y'all hear that? So the U.S. military helped oust this queen who was over the island. We good so far? And the rest of history came to 50th state. We good?
So the base that they helped make help them stay, they got it.
It's hard for, based on what they say. I can't say the White say, yeah, you can go and do this. They wasn't given much of a choice. They took it. Imperialism, right? I see you as weaker, therefore I can do what? I can take. All right, go ahead and rotate again. Oh, you see, you know you learning me. All right, so this is a very good video, the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom. I am not showing this to you right now, but you can watch this on your YouTube. Did I got me on that? So just trying to get you idea. Because the reason I say that is that this is when Dr. Tidwell has that whole Black Studies, Ethnic Studies background that go way over the U.S. history. They don't teach it all the time in U.S. history books. I don't think this is even an AP U.S. history book. Okay, so y'all are welcome, but this way I give you a little bit more background on what happened with Hawaii. Somebody give me time. I mean, I can look at it. Okay. All right. See your notes. Okay. What strategy did the U.S. use to gain Hawaii territory? Take a second to think about it, and I'm going to get a popsicle stick for someone to answer it. What strategy did the United States use to gain Hawaiian territory? Who? Kalani. What strategy did the United States use to gain Hawaiian territory? Somewhat opinion based, but what did they do? Yeah, that's a good question. What did the U.S. do? Wait, I gotta give her a chance. You got an opinion? What you about to say? Huh? How did they use numbers?
To like surround their capital.
So you mean so what Quasi is saying is that the United States uses numbers. I'm trying to abbreviate what I think you're saying, okay? They use the U.S. military, that's numbers, right? And then Americans start getting those sugar plantations. So they start, They start getting their foot into Hawaii, right? So then remember like they did in Texas. That's good. All right. Do you think it was a good way to gain the territory, though? Did it work? Morally, you saying is what? Morally may be wrong, but guess what? Are anybody complaining about they can go to Hawaii for free? I mean, you ain't got to get a passport. Does anybody ever complain about that? You just go and say, thank you, let's have a good time, right? Maybe this is why I haven't been to Hawaii yet. All right. Let's keep going. All right, Commander Perry in Japan. I am going through this very fast. Is everybody clear on this? Okay. Because this is more so set for World War II. We're going to skip this. Go ahead and cross it out in your notes. So Commander Perry in Japan, skip that out. I'll get into this when we get to World War I and II. Has everybody got me on that? I know why I put it here. Yeah, we'll wait. All right, China. Let's talk about China real quick. I'm going to be very fast here too, okay, y'all? China's economic climate. China was considered a weak nation because it was imperialist. Everybody got me on that? Many other countries had territories in China, and the country was often involved in political disputes. If you remember why you want to imperialize a person, China looks pretty good, don't it, so far? America sent letters called open door notes. You need to know that one until we get to the world wars, okay? These open door notes to all those nations asking for equal trading. So I got me on that? We good? Yeah. They basically just asking other nations, hey, let's make some equal trading. And then the U.S. ended helping Europe, but down to a rebellion called the Boxer Rebellion, which resulted in Europe being, well, they agreed to the open door policy. I'm not sure what I was typing there. Now, you notice I put there watch Jet Li Fearless, right? Has anyone seen that movie before? Okay, if you want to see a great fighting film that has historical background, which everything I'm talking about, that's that movie. It has Jet Li. Y'all know who Jet Li is, right? Okay, most of y'all don't. I'm just saying that's a good movie to watch. Do y'all follow me there? Now, I'm going to give y'all 3 pictures I'm going to have each picture for like 1 minute. You can fish either one you want to, okay? You know, I'll make your life easier, okay? I'm going to just discuss the pictures. You don't have to fish them. Does that feel better? But still take notes on these pictures, all right? So the first one here, who's this guy in the middle? This is Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam is standing on what? China. He's standing on China. Take that exactly as it is, all right, y'all? And then you see people around him being other countries that's trying to cut up China. So these would be the open door notes. Not notes. Open door letters. And there's another country in the background chopping the scissors. Everybody got me on that? These are the open door notes. I mean letters.
Is he preventing that? Is he preventing the other countries from taking part?
That was the point of the open doors, is try to keep other countries from chopping up China because they want to have China for themselves for the most part. And again, there are some great scenes in Jet Li's Fearless that shows this. Okay, here's the next one. This is more so the land grab, China, and we just gonna grab this land. Do I got me on that? Now, why do we want to get China? China has silk, opium. China has tons of resources. Okay, everybody. Like China is a wealth full of resources. Outside of Africa, I'll argue China has tons of resources that still are not fully understood because some places you just can't go to. We good so far? And then this one's very explanatory, but it shows you also the time period, right? So y'all see the stereotypes and prejudice here. You see how the Asian individuals are seen. Is there got me on that? Are they seen in a positive light? No. Okay. And then you see them basically saying, stop. We are here. This is our land. You think anybody's listening to them? And those other people not listening to them are other countries and nations. Very similar to what happened in Africa. The scramble for Africa. You just had a scramble for China. We good so far? All right. Go ahead and rotate. We're going to talk about yellow journalism. And move to a different group, not just another seat. Move somewhere totally different. And I would suggest y'all start getting in closer here. Now, I'm going to have y'all move around because obviously this is a lecture. And even if you're at home reviewing a video, you still should get up and down, right? Because it helps your body kind of move and keeps your mind awake. It's a subconscious fight, what you're doing. And the move means, you just get up and stretch, but you're just doing something. I'm just kind of forcing you here. All right, yellow journalism. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of fake news. Okay. What yellow journalism was, and the reason I'm saying was because it kind of got replaced by fake news today. Yellow journalism was based off a cartoon character that was full of stereotypes and prejudice based on a Chinese boy, which we call the yellow boy. You with me so far on that? Okay, this is where the ethnic studies is really got to come out. And what was going on with him is a cartoon character, the yellow kid. It's a very popular cartoon, and it ran in New York World, all right? The yellow kid pointed out serious problems with tenement life and class divisions, which y'all should remember from the Muckrakers, right? Okay, I'm just saying. Yes, about the Danish out of Terrebell. Okay, y'all with me so far on this? So, we good so far? We good? Yellow journalism became very popular during the Spanish-American War because all yellow journalism basically means, you have the background why we call it yellow journalism, okay? Is when you exploit the truth to get people to buy your newspaper. You exploit the truth just to get them to do what? Buy your newspaper. Or in today's day, we say fake news because we're not trying to get you to buy your newspaper, trying to get those clicks, those like clicks. Everybody got me on that? We good so far? So it's a type of, this is what you write for the definition. I'll leave this up for a second. It's a type of sensational, bias, and often false reporting for the sake of attracting what? Readers. That is what you have to understand. Yellow journalism is modern day fake news of the 20th century. Everybody got me on that? It's the same cough, the pneumonia cough. And you can see how much talking I'm doing today, so yeah. All right, let's move on, people. And during what war did this become very, very popular? Spanish-American War. All right, so what did they do? They attracted more readers, we gave more money. They report only on the most sensational, so the most outrageous thing to get people to read. And then they will also, the paper played a large role in influencing public opinion. When you watch the news, that influences public opinion. Everybody got me on that? I love my dad. My dad is awesome. Love my mom. My mom is awesome. But they're also from a different generation where they watch the news a lot. Everybody got me on that? They make their public opinions and their political decisions based on what the news says. And you do all know that every news station is biased. And again, I'm telling you why right now, right? Okay. We good so far? Okay, let's keep going. So this is the same thing I said a second ago, but can I get a popsicle stick to read what I put right here in red? Okay, wait, I can't get it to go back in, so give me a second. Yeah, you don't have to get up and read it. But I just want you to read what it says in red. Can you see it? Oh, go ahead. Just read it. We good now with yellow journalism? Okay. All right, so now that leads us to the Spanish-American War. Okay. When we talk about we need to get sugar, right? The best place to get sugar is in the Caribbean. So I got me on that? We good so far? And I'm abbreviate it sometime to tell you the story. Because I actually really studied the Spanish-American War out of all these different wars. I thought it was interesting. So American planters still want the sugar. Cuba, Jamaica, all these different places have great sugar plantations. Which one's the closest to us, though? Cuba, right? This also is going to set up a problem that we have with Cuba to this day. Is that right clear there? So, some Americans felt that the U.S. needed to enforce the Monroe Doctrine. Y'all remember that again? We need to enforce the Monroe Doctrine that had to and told European empires to stay out of the Western Hemisphere. Is Cuba in the Western Hemisphere? Yes, they are. So I got me so far on that. Okay. Now, Cubans were trying to revolt against the Spanish for years. And through yellow journalism, we showed a lot of different pictures that showed how bad some of the Cuban people were doing. Y'all got me on that? Malnutrition, kids not eating, people don't have food, water. It looks really bad. Y'all got me on that? Yeah. Now keep in mind, back in the mind, we need that sugar, right? We good? But yellow journalism, particularly Pulitzer and Hearst, they really started pushing this whole idea of what's going on in Cuba. Y'all got me on that? Which gave public opinion and public support that we know we need to go down and liberate these Cubans. We got Manifest Destiny. Look how bad they're looking. Look how bad they're living. Y'all got me on that? We good so far? And again, we're talking about William Hearst and Pulitzer. You still, if you're a journalism, you're trying to get the Pulitzer Prize. Y'all got me on that? That means you are the best journalist in that particular category. We good? Are we good? Okay. So, President McKinney was president in the time period. He warns the Spanish to establish peace or else. And I'm abbreviating all these PowerPoints. Y'all with me so far? Y'all with me? Okay. So, things get worse. The Maine. Remember the Maine. Has everybody got me on this? Does everybody hear me on this? Remember the Maine. 266 U.S. sailors died when the U.S. Maine explodes in Havana Harbor. Y'all with me so far on that? And you know the news media took this to crazy, right? That's why you get the idea of remember the Maine. Y'all with me so far on this? Okay. Now, remember now the idea that the Americans felt like they was living to protect Cuba, the USS Maine and Havana, the capital city. 3 weeks after the Maine arrived, the ship explodes. Sailors died. Nobody knew what really happened, but for most people, they immediately start blaming who you think? Spain. And the newspapers was putting that out there as well. Okay, y'all with me so far? And y'all can see where this is a really big answer, right? So McKinley hoped to avoid the war, quote unquote, and try to work out a solution between Cuba and Spain. But Spain did not want to respond because guess what? Why am I going to give up my territory? Like, why would you do that, right? It's not going to happen. So this only made things worse. So then that's when people started saying, remember the Maine, and Congress declared war on Spain in April of 1898. It wasn't a very long war. It wasn't a long war at all. But the United States was awake. Spanish-American War now officially starts. The U.S. Army grew from 30,000 to 274,000 men and people ready to go. Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, I remember that name, right? Remember that name, Teddy Roosevelt? Teddy Roosevelt. He resigned to put together his own regiment called the Rough Riders. So they fought during the Spanish-American War. Roosevelt's Rough Riders, along with 17,000 other troops, arrived in Cuba in June, and he and his men captured Santiago and taken San Juan Hill. So they was not playing no games. Again, this was a very fast war. Once America had taken Santiago, the Spanish tried to retreat by racing to their ships, but the U.S. captured and sank every last ship. It was a very, very fast situation. Is everybody with me so far on this? Okay. All right, so because of this, the Spanish-American War, America owns sugar plantations now in Cuba and Puerto Rico. Because Spain owned, guess what? Cuba and Puerto Rico. Anybody ever been to Puerto Rico? Cuba is not a U.S. territory, but Puerto Rico is. This is how we got it. Y'all follow me so far? You also have Spain control both islands, contrary to the Monroe Doctrine. And the U.S. fought the Spanish-American War to give Cuba its independence. But they was never independent, because guess who was down there now? The United States. So basically, Cuban people traded Spain for guess who? The United States. And until the Cuban Revolution, after Bautista, the United States always had its power down in Cuba. Did everybody be so far? Is everybody with me? Do the United States have good relations with Cuba now? And again, you see why for a very long time we could do whatever we wanted in Cuba, and all of a sudden you got kicked us out. We got problems. You with me? Okay. All right. We also got the Philippines. Just know that this is also part of the Spanish-American War. We was also fighting in the Philippines. We got that territory. If you ever look at where coats come from, it's not coming from China. It's probably coming from the Philippines. Y'all got me on that? Cuba, we kind of already talked about that, but basically the Rough Riders cavalry unit organized by Theodore Roosevelt, made up of refugee Westerners and upper class Easterners. They gained control, and that's why they won really the not the Cuban American War, the Spanish American War. Be a V on the Rough Riders. We'll be skipping that. Wait. So the effects of the war is a certain point I want to get to. Everybody got me on that? Okay. I got time, but making some progress. I think y'all covered it. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a second to fill in. I know I gave y'all a lot. Huh? What? How the Philippines? When we got Cuba, we also got Philippines, because Philippines were also controlled by the Spanish too. Philippines, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. But it was also the Filipino War, so we was fighting to get that territory too. Okay, I'm waiting on y'all for the Roosevelt Corollary. I'm gonna abbreviate all these words, okay, y'all? Can we go to the Roosevelt Corollary? Yeah? No? Yes, no? Yes? Okay. Side note, this is probably one of the last lectures you get from me the whole school year. Only reason I'm lecturing because I didn't have a video for it. So, here it is. All right, Roosevelt Corollary. Y'all ready? See that picture? Know that picture. It's going to be on every test you ever see with Roosevelt Corollary. Who is holding the gun?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. At the end of the gun, you see Monroe Doctrine. Y'all with me so far on that? Who is he pointing the gun to? Yeah, you can say a king or someone from Europe, right? What is he trying to reach to get? Santo Domingo, meaning the Caribbean islands. Have I got me on that? Claims, yes. So this is Europe. This is trying to get claims to that. The Roosevelt Corollary basically say that if any Central American or Southern American nation rebelled against Europe, the United States would help Europe rather than Europe fighting the war itself. In other words, not only we saying stay out of here because of Monroe Doctrine, right? If you got a problem, we'll help you, but we will fight for you. You stay out of here. Sarah got me on that? Do y'all see a problem with that, though? Because if we're fighting for you, who are we really fighting for, though? Ourselves. It's just history, y'all. Just y'all know. That's what it was an extension of the Monroe Doctrine saying, Europe, you got problems, we will fight for you. You just totally stay out of here. Okay? This is also part of isolationism. Right? Everybody got me on that? We don't want European issues over here with our country or close to us at all, really at all. We good there? And again, I just abbreviated that and just gave you a definition. Y'all with me? I know it's a lot, right? I'm going to give you time to digest it, okay? Give you some time. All right. So this picture here, who's this guy right here? Teddy Roosevelt, carrying a big stick. Is everybody got me on that? He's walking around the Caribbean Ocean, right? With a fleet of ships. Do y'all see that? Debt collection, protector. They're blockading Europe out of the Western Hemisphere, particularly the Caribbean. Again, Central and South America. Is everybody got me on that? This is called big stick policy. Write that down. Remember it. Teddy Roosevelt and the big stick policy. Which again just basically means Europe, you stay out of here, okay? You're not messing, you don't come over here, you don't mess with us, you don't do nothing. Big stick. You know, put diplomacy, because I'm not sure if it's policy or diplomacy. Huh? You remember reading policy? Yeah. Okay. The Western Hemisphere for the most part. All right, so now we're about to get to the Panama Canal, the last topic for today. Everybody take a big sigh of relief. I know it's been a lot. It's a lot. I got me on that? But that's why I want to walk you through it, okay? Okay. All right. Roosevelt regarded taking the Panama as a fulfillment of the most direct of American strategies, because the idea is that if we take Panama, we can make a connection between the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. You right with me so far on that? We good so far? That's the biggest thing. As a way of denying Europe as a foothold in Central America as well, because now we'll come down there, and at the same time assuring the mobility of the two oceans navy. So prior to the Panama Canal, you will have to go all the way around South America to come back up. Is that clear on that? The Panama Canal is literally like a little strip that goes right through the continent that connects the Caribbean Ocean, which connects the Atlantic Ocean, to the Pacific. So you save time, you save money, you save shipping costs. Y'all follow me on that? So for economic reasons, it's a beautiful thing. Do I follow? To this day, the Panama Canal is still active. It's mainly used by cruise ships, though. Okay. All right. Here's some more for y'all to watch, so you can add to your notes. You're watching this whole video, okay, y'all?
Theodore Roosevelt and the Panama Canal. In 1901, the assassination of William McKinley thrust Vice President Theodore Roosevelt into the role of President of an emerging power. Roosevelt, unwilling to allow European nations to dominate international political and economic affairs was determined to make the United States an even more powerful force on
I don't know why it's
the
schooling.
world stage. In 1905, building on the achievements of the Open Door Notes, Roosevelt managed to mediate a peace negotiation between Japan and Russia. The two nations had been fighting for control of possessions in Manchuria and Korea, and the successful negotiations won Roosevelt the 1906 Nobel Peace Prize. As Roosevelt's presidency continued on, America's role in international affairs continued to grow. France, Great Britain, and the United States had all envisioned a world in which a canal could provide a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. As early as 1850, Great Britain and the United States had agreed to share operating rights of such a canal if it could be built. However, in 1901, Britain granted exclusive rights to such a canal to the United States. In the late 1800s, France had attempted to build a canal in Panama, but their efforts had failed. In 1903, President Roosevelt and Congress purchased the rights to this Panama route for $40 million.
Okay, so this video obviously not
Roosevelt
working very well.
saw the completion of a
So you got the idea of the basics of the canal, though? I'm asking you, yes, no? Yeah, they purchased it from another country, and that was the main idea. All right, let me get some popsicle sticks to read this for us real quick. If you can add to your notes here. All right, Mara, go ahead and read one bullet point. Let me get somebody else. Ephraim? Yeah.
Increased security. Many American officials believe that a canal would speed the Navy from the Atlantic.
When someone's reading, I'm sorry, wait 1 second. When someone's reading, I need everybody to be quiet so everybody can hear too. Go ahead.
Increasing security. Many American officials believe that a canal would speed the Navy from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean.
So again, that is connecting the Pacific to what other ocean? The Atlantic Ocean. All right, what we got next? Phoenix, read the last part. All right, so again, the whole rationale for getting imperialism we got now, right, y'all? Yes? Economic, cultural, and what's the other one? Military. All right, we good, yes? Someone said no, so what's up? Do we still use the Panama Canal? Yes, we do. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're almost done. All right, first off, this is a visual so y'all can see where the Panama Canal is. Anybody see where it's at? Okay, so what countries is the Panama Canal between? South America and what? You say South America, Central America, North America, right? It's kind of like right there in the middle. All right. Let me get some pop statistics. One person read this for us. me get one person to read this for us. Mir? Okay. So Colombia was basically the big thing now. Who do we support to get the canal? Panama, right? Saying, hey, we fight on your side, give us the canal, the canal, and then you don't have to worry about the Colombians no more. Is everybody clear there? All right. Good there. Good there. Because this is more so about completing the canal. This is when we just talk about what the canal does. All right. In a nutshell, can I get someone to read this last point? Gotham, go ahead. Y'all got it? That's what it means. Did the United States take a lot? But again, like I say, do anybody complain about going to Hawaii? No one ever complains. All right, people, if you understand everything we just talked about, say yes. All right, now, you need to go back and do some review of this, don't you? Sure. A lot of material was just covered. Okay. We covered a lot. Don't forget about Alaska, right, y'all? Y'all remember this place here, right? Okay, we can't forget about Alaska, forget about Hawaii or anywhere else. This is talking about the locks that goes into Panama, but we covered a lot of material. So, first of all, let me tell y'all to ask you to give yourselves a big round of applause.